Welcome back, YouTube and Odyssey. We're here at the Adventurous Guide to the Galaxy. Now, today, I'm going to do it real quick. Tonight, it's dark. We're on a live stream. Here we are talking about toxic chemical spills, disasters, bank collapses, and just all around general ridiculousness. Now, first, I want to say rest in peace to all the people who have recently passed away. That was not their fault. This Nashville shooting, they got this crazy person running up in there and harming kids. That's not right. That's messed up. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Now, first thing I wanted to talk about was I didn't get a chance to do a video on the East Palestine, Ohio disaster, which I'm going to be able to because I got banned from YouTube. Also, I was banned for a video that I did, which we'll also talk about that. But like I said, I wanted to do a video about East Palestine and all these other random accidents that are going on. Now, a lot of people have realized, hey, there's something going on here. Disaster, disaster, spill, spill, spill. And then for all the talk and all the craziness that is going on, there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of OSHA or any of these other organizations really doing anything about it. Now there was a couple people who tried to do something about it, but their plane mysteriously crashed. They mysteriously died. Imagine that. They're on their way to, you know, go to East Palestine in Ohio and actually do some surveys and stuff. Now, a lot of people went, I think JD Vance is like a political person up in Ohio or somewhere up north. He went there, and a lot of other people went there. They started throwing rocks in the river, started seeing colorful, weird bubbles come up. And now, like I said, that water tributary goes into many other types of streams and rivers and lakes that goes all around. And the ecological, I like the word, ecological disaster has not even been fully measured yet because again it takes time to study and do all these things. Hey, what's going on, bikers and bullets? Bikes and bullets is always are always having a good time on Instagram, chatting it up. Absolutely fantastic. Everybody check him out. So one of the things is there's all these disasters going on and it's spreading into all the waterways. I heard just in Pittsburgh, I think there's another spill today. Lots of spills going on. A lot of people are figuring it out. They're like, oh man, like just recently I had a friend of mine, I haven't talked to her since high school, which is like, years, like 10, 15 years ago. She just hit me up. She's like, oh my God, look at all this stuff that's going on. What do you think about this? I'm like, well, I've been telling people for a long time this is what's going on. We started chatting about it. A lot of people are very concerned, but they don't really know what else to do. But my number one solution is to learn. Learn as much as you possibly can. Talk to people who have a more in-depth view of history and can understand all the things that have been left out of history books that are fake, that are nonsense. Definitely check it out. Now, so we're talking about all this stuff, telling her and telling a lot of other people, they're starting to come out of their shell. They're like, hey, maybe the government, maybe they don't really like us so much. Oh my God. Ooh, man, I don't know. Yeah, welcome to the party. So a lot of people are starting to figure it out. Sorry, I'm looking at the moon here. It's looking a little crazy if you guys can see that. See, it's like there's clouds right there. It's breaking through the clouds. And so a lot of people are coming out of their shell. They're like starting to figure it out. Like, hey, something's going on. I don't know. And a lot of people are starting to freak out. They're getting like an anxiety attack. Like they're freaking out. Oh my God. And that can usually cause people to go back into their shell because they realize how terrible it is. Like, well, at least I can, you know, shell up and, then, only I can enjoy what's left. Well, there isn't really going to be much enjoying what's left. But like I said, if you have a negative mindset, then it's going to be like a new reset. They're going to collapse society and all that stuff. But if you have a positive mindset and you know a lot about the environment, you just pretty much generally are receptive to new information. When everything goes down, you'll be ready to build your new stuff and you'll come up. Like I said, I've been working on it for a couple of years, but I'll do a video about that. So East Palestine, Ohio, Pittsburgh, there's all these crazy things going on around America, all these, collapsing, all these, spills and all this stuff. And like my personal opinion is intentional because, hey, remember, Agenda UN 2021 came and gone. A lot of the things that they wanted to happen didn't happen. So they do their little election buggery, their honkery, and then they do their jab, little mandated jabbery they got going on there. Because that's why my video got banned, because they're mad, because we made a little funny video about Mr. Albert Bourla. It was very funny. Me and Daryl are going to do it again. I don't care. We'll figure it out. And then, like I said, Sabotage. This is the way it is. Like I said, they got to get rid of America, They can't fight them in the military and war. Obviously, everybody knows that's what they're going to do. Sabotage. Whether it's coming across the border, whether it's, politicians just letting them in, whether it's people are already here. You don't know how they get here. All different types of ways. They're in on it. Like I said, they are in on the downfall of America because, not because they think that, some other superpower is going to rise and be the only power. It's going to be everyone's going to have, the governments will be superpowers, but everybody who's not directly in the government, you're all going to be broke, poor, and you're going to be third world. They want to control everybody. CBDC, central bank digital currency, and all that other stuff. Like I said, it's all right there. It's all like right there. Sabotage, destruction, doing all that stuff. All these billions and trillions and bazillions of dollars. Let's see. Backers and Bullet says the financial banking collapse is being misdirected by another topic issue in our faces. Yes, 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 yes. So like I said, they have the financial collapse, like all this crazy stuff going on, and then every time it's very tragic, it's very sad. Something ridiculous will happen in the news. They're like, oh my god, we can't talk about the obvious like smoke and flames in the background of everything collapsing. But this is like a symptom of it, and a lot of people have been pointing out some very interesting things about some of these most recent disasters. And like I said, it's very telling. A lot of people in America just they think that they really truly think that someone is going to come save them, or miraculously Donald Trump or Biden or Bernie Sanders or AOC, they will save us, because you see once we just like them a little bit harder, or just they will. No. Every day in your life, you need to confront people, things, ideas, anything that's not good, because let these people start a war with Russia. China, they're not trying to win. They're trying to start the war, be like, oh, blow up all these people, and they're gonna bounce to the little bunkers, and y'all are gonna get smoked, and then they're gonna come in here and they're gonna take over. Like I said, y'all don't understand. A lot of people don't understand that the new alliances, well, not necessarily new, because of how bad America is. Sorry, because of how bad America, the government has been, and treating everyone like crap. All these other countries are forming an alliance, and eventually it will be like some home front where they actually come up in here. You want to know why? Because Russia, China, India, and Brazil, that's like coming up on half the world's population right there. It's edging towards it. America's got like 4 or 5%, So if like you really make these people mad, and all of South America is, allying with Russia and China because of how bad the intelligence agencies that love us so much. People are down in South America just ruining all those people's lives, messing around. They know that. They're not dumb. Russia and China moving in there, taking care of it. If you ever played the game Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, it's basically going to be like the second version of that. We'll be battling in South America, doing all kinds of stuff. And from what I'm seeing, the New World Order that's on our New World Order that we're having to deal with, they're not going to be winning so much longer. And like I said, when they take the L, they're not going to take it. They're trying to make you and me take it. I'm not taking L's. And that's where the problem is going to come in. They're selling off stuff in America, moving stuff in. All types of craziness is going to go down. You want to know something that I was thinking about earlier is all of the wars and conflicts and stuff. When people be like, why do people go overseas and try to fight and participate in conflicts overseas and all that stuff? Some people it's for the cause, yes. Some people it's because they know people there. Some people it's because they have nothing better to do. There's many different reasons. But one of the reasons that I figured out recently, since like 2015, I thought of this. Me and a buddy of mine were talking about this. It's a very strange plane I'm looking at. Is that some people see it as though they need the experience for the type of zombie apocalypse that's going to be going down in America because of how ridiculous it's going to be, right? And that's what a lot of people are thinking. Like, it's going to get so wild here that you don't want to wait till then to have any experience, which is why, in my opinion, paintball, laser tag, video games, airsoft, all these things are popular because people think, hey, aside from just having fun and enjoying it, I'm going to have to get some type of experience or knowledge or familiarization, anything. It's just my opinion. Because when the zombies come, you don't want to be caught lacking. So that's pretty much just the gist of this video. I wanted to apologize because YouTube banned me for a week because me and Daryl made a very hilarious video. And I made a Rumble channel. I didn't really ever feel like having to do that. But I made that Rumble, baby. Made that Rumble, baby. And so all the spicy stuff's gonna go on Rumble. All the jab content, all that good stuff, it's definitely gonna be up in there. We're gonna really enjoy that. And like I said, I got a lot of videos coming. I'm almost done filming some. The band kind of caught me off guard. A lot of stuff's been happening. Same name on Rumble? Yes, it will be. It is the same name on Rumble. Is the same name on Rumble. If not, it might be a little bit different because I don't know if I was able to get that. I'll definitely put it in the description of this video, and if not, Bikers and Bulls, I'll send it to you on Instagram so you can make sure you get it because that's gonna be crazy. Me and Daryl are gonna tear it up. Got a lot of interviews coming. I was working on an interview with my buddy. He's a Marine, fantastic. It's a couple guys, Mike Arbogast and Nick Accardi. It's the Hard to Kill podcast. It's a podcast about GWAT, Global War on Terror, from the early 2000s all the way up to 2023. That era of veterans who went around the world doing all the Global War on Terror stuff. That includes myself because I have a Global War on Terror medal for all my Marine Corps stuff. Got a podcast talking about all kinds of stuff. That's going to be fantastic. We're going to talk about Okinawa, Philippines, the South China Sea, excuse me, because that's where I was at. Going to talk a lot about that. We're going to get on the podcast. Going to talk about China. Going to talk about cyber warfare, all the islands that they're building out there. It's gonna be really good. So when I get on that podcast, when we finish it up, I get a little busy. It's gonna be fantastic. So 3MEF, yes. No, I was actually 3rd Marine Division. 3MEF was like right down the street. We used to always get in fights with those guys because they would come up and they would always be like, "Oh, hey, you Marines, oh, you think you're tough?" And I'd be like, "Well, I mean, we are pretty much on lockdown and get in trouble all the time for fighting and being drunk. So I mean, if you guys want to go, let's go. Lots of fights, lots of fun too. But lots of fights with 3MEF and all the random other UDPs and the Mews that would come and get on our base. We'd be like, "Who are those guys? Who are you?" Ah! Just fighting and stuff in the Marine Corps. But anyway, that's what the podcast is going to be about when I finish it up. Got a little busy, like I said, couldn't finish it the other night. And like I said, seeing a lot of videos on the internet of people just saying crazy stuff. Got a reaction video coming. I finished this guy. Yeah, you know what I mean, dude. 3MEF versus Division up on Okinawa. Oh my god, that stuff is so funny. Versus UDPs, you have some infantry battalions come there. People get drunk. Oh, it's such a good time to have fighting people, beat them up. So much fun. But like I said, here we go. Got the Rumble. We got everything going on. I got the gas mask video. I had to have somebody help me hold. I found my tripod because I have to do a gas mask. I haven't forgot the person that commented that wanted the gas mask video. Very important. A lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of hazmat stuff coming up. Got a couple more night vision videos. But like I said, the hazmat thing is very important because of all the stuff that's going on. All the toxic chemical leaks and spills and all the Chinese spy balloons and all this stuff going on. And the government's like sending money to Ukraine. Ukrainians probably definitely ain't getting most of the money. Just crazy stuff going on. The shootings and stuff, and it's just a lot. So I want to say, hopefully everybody's doing good. Hopefully everyone's staying safe. I'm going to try to make another video tonight because I did this one. This is the I'm Back video, the I'm Back live stream, because they tried to ban me. They got mad because me and Daryl's video was really funny. We made fun of the Pfizer CEO, Albert Bourla. He sounds like Dracula, and I think that's what made them upset. Oh, he's not Dracula. Yeah, so me and Daryl got a lot of videos coming. We got more interviews coming. Check those out. The last couple of videos that me and Daryl just did, we talked about how all that's going on. Daryl Guberman, by the way, he's putting a lot of good videos out, exposing all the inside of all the Pfizer, the CDC, Dr. Fauci, all those, because he works on the inside of all those companies, completely just blowing them out the water, killing them. Definitely check out Daryl Guberman. I've done a couple videos with him. I'm trying to see. I have my airsoft video that I finished. We went and did some really good exercise. A bunch of people tried to run up on us through the airstrike. They got vehicles, got all kinds of stuff. So might be going to one of the Milsim events. We're gonna try to. Been a little busy, but there's a lot going on. Got a lot of videos almost done. Hey, everybody, stay safe out there. We got a lot coming up. Also, one of the live streams I did recently is SHTF going to have like weird creatures or monsters or stuff. You know what I mean? It was a really weird video. A lot of people were confused by it, but one of the things that I was talking about was a lot of people who live out in the middle of nowhere, like me, you know what I mean? They've been seeing a lot of weird stuff, and I've been having a lot of people hit me up like, "Hey man, I just seen this. Oh my god, I just seen that." Like taking pictures, and it's pretty wild. Like you know, especially because it's one of those things where if they're going to hit us with everything they got because of, they're trying to collapse America, they're trying to just make all countries third world, they're trying to help Russia and China defeat it, even though they're like, hey, Americans, why are you joining the military? Well, because you guys are poisoning and killing people up in the barracks. Bipedal things, yes, bipedal and four-legged things. Lots of weird stuff going on, like in the national parks and out west, like way out in the middle of nowhere. People are just seeing like weird stuff out in the woods. I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of one of those things like when they really hit us with everything they have because they want to get rid of America. Do you think they're going to open them cages and let all them experimental creatures they got in there out? I do. I sure do. Because, again, the Smithsonian, two things about the Smithsonian. Three. Actually, number one, they're garbage and I hate them. Number two, they have a bunch of lawsuits that they lost where a lot of Native American tribes and people they know the history. They're not releasing history that they actually have, which is proven, which is a lot of really wild stuff. And from what I was told, they just put the spear that killed one of the CIA slash you know Delta Force operators in Afghanistan. One of the guys that was killed by the big spear in Afghanistan. They just put that in one of the Smithsonian institutes, like the super huge guy. Let's see, Arkansas too. Witnessed some of weird things on my bro's property. Was there 4+ months. Yeah, man. Like they're starting to turn the heat up with all this weird stuff on top of the poisonings, on top of the this, on top of the that. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Like, you would hate to be the person who's like, oh, look at me, society's gonna collapse, I'm just gonna go out somewhere. He says Skinny Wonka Ranch will tell you that all persons need to know about the topic. Yeah, I've been looking at that stuff for years. That stuff's pretty scary, man. But listening to some of the X/X stories, a lot of that stuff I've heard some people actually told me in real life. Actually, tell you a little story here. I just went to this. Oh man, okay, cat scratching the door. I almost shot a hole in the door. So I was at this, Cali, Florida, right? And I did this airsoft event, right? Um, there was a guy I met at the gas station. I was trying to charge my phone, and he was an older Marine. I was talking to him for a few minutes. I'm like, okay, is this guy legit? So he was talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, I was in this unit. Yeah. He was in the infantry back in the 80s, and he was talking like, he's like, hey, I met this guy. His name is Don Mann. He started SEAL Team 6. And I looked him up. All right, everything checks out. And he was saying that after they went to went to the Middle East and did some training and did some stuff, he went to the Galapagos Islands, right? And he was saying, hey man, they were like, we're gonna do some training, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to like say this guy's name, but he said they went to the Galapagos Islands and they were doing some training. It was like natives that lived there, some villagers. They said, we're gonna sneak by them, can't let them see us, right? Sneaks by them, goes to this little area. They said they went to this volcano, huge volcano. I was talking to this guy for like an hour and a half because a lot of other stuff he talked about I knew, and we went back and forth. Huge volcano. He's like, we went to this volcano. There was a big door on the volcano. I'm talking like, have you ever seen Jurassic Park, like the Welcome Jurassic Park gates? It was like that, but into the side of the volcano, and it opened up, and it was like a hallway that just went down, just. He said it went miles. Like you could see, they shine a light, and it just went. You couldn't even see the end of this hallway. Not to mention that the hallway was like, 100 feet up. Like it was almost 10 stories up, and then just back. But like he said, one of the native guys was saying, well, that stuff's been here as long as we've been here. We've been here for thousands plus of years. So what he was saying was there are pre-modern human civilizations that were advanced, and he went to one of those places, mind blown. He said after that, he's like, I'm just a little country boy from Kentucky, and I just, doing my thing. I wasn't really, there to, get my opinion or any of that type of stuff, but he's like, that's something you ain't never gonna forget, not a day in your life. And they went there. He said he went down an elevator. The elevator was really weird because he said it wasn't like an elevator, like a push button, like, Chinese plastic button, or, of some wood made in Detroit. Camouflage door? No, it was not camouflage. It was giant. It was like not brick, like concrete and like marble slab. It was ridiculous. To which I've actually seen a lot of these tunnels. I think we're in Romania. They just discovered one. It was huge, kind of like Mammoth Mountain down there in Kentucky. Huge, and they discovered like giant statues that were like 10,000 years old. looking crazy, looking like the space helmets on. Absolutely, it's carved out of stone, pure stone, unbelievable stuff. So, like I said, the more I've been learning about all that stuff, it's been coming up. The more I've been seeing like the collapse of America and all this stuff going on, and I'm like, man, one day you could be sitting there like, oh man, we did our little bug out plan, yeah, 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 yeah. Hear like a little stick break, like what was that? All I'm saying is spend a little bit less money on beer, a couple less beers, get yourself some night vision, some thermal gas masks, and my new favorite, buy some swords and spears. Because when the ammo runs out, a lot of you don't have weapons with bayonet lugs on them. Because everybody who's in the Marine Corps knows, yeah, it's a bayonet lug. A lot of other people are like, what's that? You're in deep trouble. You're in deep trouble. That's all I'm saying, because contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think that guns exist and everything is all done. Actually, a lot of people don't really have guns. A lot of people don't really even know what guns, how to even use them. So in a situation where you're out in the middle of nowhere and you hear some sounds and you have a gun, you can only point it one direction. If you have a giant axe and a revolver like this with your little night vision on, I'm sure you'll feel a lot comfortable than if you just had a long rifle that's a bolt action, whatever. Like I said, I'm getting into the weeds of just random thoughts going through my head, but it says butt stroke to the head works okay too. Yes, it does, and I have I have a couple of a Lee Enfield and I have a Mosin Nagant. Those things are still really heavy, and they work, and they have bayonets, and they're almost 100 years old each, and they work very well. So, like I said, I have weapons, I have firearms that are like that, because like I said, you never know. Like I was saying earlier, all of these conflicts around the world, people would participate in them to get some. God, this cat is fucking. You want to fucking. Oh, asshole. Stop being rude. See what I deal with? It's unbelievable. Cat's just acting a fool. So, like I said, all those conflicts, you could do all types of stuff. It's going to be a warm-up for how devastating this would be. Like I said, I don't wish this upon anybody. I hope that we can convince these people to just F off and stop sending our money to Ukraine and building underground bases and doing weird shit. But no chance of that. No chance of that. A lot of people around the world have a lot of subscribers from, many different countries and stuff. They're not really exactly very familiar with how insane the continental United States really is. There's a lot of really wild stuff going on here. Like I said, Smithsonian, they lost a lawsuit. They're supposed to hand over the Bigfoot skeleton that they have. The U.S. Army, 1855, they have a war where they killed a bunch of Bigfoots. That's probably why they hate us. You know what I mean? Like, crazy stuff happened. A lot of people aren't really putting it into perspective, but it's all coming crashing down because, like I said, they're scared. They're really shocked, and people in America aren't even doing anything. They're just talking on the internet. Nobody's really even done anything. Like, most people literally don't see here. Like in France, people going crazy, fighting the government, attacking, destroying, because they're messing with them, and good for them. There's a bunch of creatures moving around here. I don't like this. And, all these other countries protest. Israel, even Israel's protesting. In America, everyone's afraid to protest because they'll come to your house and kill you once you really, really get under their skin and actually, expose a bunch of stuff. For example, for whatever y'all think about the limited hangout that is the Twitter files release, it's very important stuff, but that was only this much compared to what they really got going on just on Twitter. They went to Matt Taibbi's house, the IRS showed up, and they were like, oh, we need to talk to you, like right the same day he was about to go give a congressional testimony to Congress, right? Like I said, the IRS, they're training with guns, and they're doing all this new stuff. They're not training with guns to come tickle your feet. They're not training with guns to, come give you a wet willy. It'll be a willy, but it ain't gonna be wet. It might be hot. But that's what it's all about, man. Like I said, you got the FBI, they got all this stuff. Like I said, talk to Gerald Goodman, man. People don't understand. The little board is called ANSI and ANAB, which is like the people who decide who gets to manufacture and who gets to have anything, right? Those people Dr. Fauci, FBI, CIA, they're all on the same board. It's literally like a literal, this is where the mass emails come out to make everyone do all the things and stuff. Like when you wake up in the morning, oh my God, how do they have all these articles already ready to go? There it is. That's the center where all the mass email, that's the little Skynet thing, but it's like, it's still kind of old because they haven't got like the CBDCs and stuff. And we were doing a new video on the ISO cryptos and stuff. It says, Diogenes, it says, I heard they bought a bunch of firearms they hadn't heard they were training. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Yeah. I just figured they were putting the bill for them. Yeah, like I said, they're doing so much stuff. It's like unbelievable. It's like really hard to even. It's really hard to even like keep track of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just like a million things going on. But for the IRS, like they bought a bunch of weapons. They haven't done training. Like they're starting to roll through it because, you know, they still have to like approve because, you know, they're still moving at the speed of bureaucracy, right? They still got to be like, okay, you're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. They still bought them all. They're still setting them aside. And when they start training with them, it's kind of like everything. It's kind of like the Jade Helm thing back in 2014. They're like, oh, they'll never deploy U.S. troops on the soul, oh my God. And now here we are in 2023. I mean, you know, for certain things, like, oh, you know, this group or that group, people are getting it too amazing. The cops show up with all these different letter groups. I mean, it might as well be the military. I mean, they have their own stuff. But like I said, it's one of those things where they're starting to roll it up. But I also don't think that they thought that they would have to be moving this fast. Because remember, say what you want about Donald Trump, they were more concerned with his tweets and arguing with him than actually being able to implement the 2021 and the 2030 agenda. It's still 4 years behind. So that slowed them down because they just like were mucked up just dealing with him and like his tweets. And like they had like a bunch of mental breakdowns and had a bunch of, you know, a bunch of tampons and wiping and crying and all that stuff. So that did slow it down a little bit. But now that he's gone, and we got the, you know, a weekend at corporeal, you know, Joe's or whatever, or weekend at corporeal Bernie's, you know, now everything's getting back to regular speed because they don't have to spend time trying to convince everybody that literally anything on TV should be anything opposite than what it is that they're saying, right? So now that they're back to regular speed, now you're seeing the crash go much faster because they're trying to make up for time. One of those things to make up for time is give the IRS agent guns. Like, it wasn't already scary enough when they just showed up. Now they have guns and all this other stuff. Now you're gonna be scared and having to be like, oh God, I gotta deal with this crap. So that's pretty much what that is. Well, like I said, so it's just all going down nice and smooth, right? Well, not smooth for them, not smooth for us. But like I said, solutions. What is a solution? Learn. The more you learn, the more people you talk to. When you actually just talk to regular people, right? Just talking to regular people, it makes you feel a lot better because you're like, wait, I've met people every store I've went to, every place, every here and there. You might get people that disagree, you know, a little bit. And I mean, not unless you're going like major city trying to find people who are politically creatures minded and just, you know, be different just for the sake of being different. Most people are just like, dude, what the hell's going on? Where's my money? Why is it so expensive? This is garbage. All the crazy stuff. You know, it really isn't that we are losing. It's that the more you learn, the more you realize how bad it's always been. And that makes you feel like you're losing. But if they're going to try to kill us all anyway, we might as well have fun with it. And then when you actually have fun and just, you know, you fight back, then you're like, wait, we actually do got this. So I want to say that it's going to be okay. But remember, learn about my most important thing. How do you defeat the climate change nonsense? Number one, Dr. Shiva has a video on that. He's a scientist. He completely debunks the whole carbon and versus carbon dioxide thing. Is complete nonsense. But more importantly, learn about the environment, planting, like whatever area you live in, move around. Learn about, I guess, permaculture, which would be my my biggest solution there. Learn about the environments when they come with some, the global war. Like, nah, actually, I'm good. I planted way more plants this month than you ever planted in your life. Get back on your private jet and go away before I fart in your face. So that's pretty much how you treat them. Because like I said, when you learn about plants and how it all works, when you listen to them talk, you're like, bro, you're just talking. You're just literally saying stuff. I'm sorry. I don't have that privilege where I can just come around, land in a jet with a mink coat up to here, you know what I'm saying, off my shoulders, and then be like, you guys are hurting the environment. You know what I'm saying? Look at this shirt. This shirt might be like a pack, one pack for like, $5 for 5 shirts. You know what I'm saying? They're over here. Emmanuel Macron with $80,000 watch, talking about y'all retirement should probably go to 70, even though they're doing 64 right now. And then you got Zelensky's wife over here buying $40,000 purse when she's traveling around with my money. She bought me my purse. Can you come deliver that, please? Thank you. Kitty cat, you want the purse? Yeah, that's right. Kitty cat wants that purse too. Hand it up. So like I said, all this craziness going on is to try to whip you into submission, to make America a third world country, basically Brazil. And then, you can be on TV. And let's see, Di Jenny says, I'll leave the farting into the cows and raise that to become my food. Actually, oh, that's fantastic. Cow farts are illegal. We're gonna come for them. Oh my God, it's like, can you imagine being over in like the Netherlands or in Europe, and they're just like, oh, your cow has farted and it has killed a tree. Give me your farm. My goodness. But like I said, I'm gonna try to finish this. Like I said, this is the last requested video that I have. Is this right? The last video I have requested is the gas mask video, the Spirion OptiFit. Like, there's a lot of different types of masks. I like the Spirion OptiFit. It is amazing. Tempered glass is meant for like firefighters or for people who work in like metal smelting factories. So the hot lava doesn't jump on your face and melt through. It's pretty hardcore. So all the solutions that you got going on out there, learn about what's going on, and talk with confidence, because these people really are dumb, and a lot of people, they're being different just for the sake of being different. And like I said, a lot of the people that have got the jab, right, the little thingy, what about that mind control that people are talking about? Yes, I did a video about that. Yes. And TikTok ripped it down. Yeah, they're mad. So now we're back again. Those purple lights you see on this freeway or around town, I don't know if you have them there. I'm burping so much because I just ate some food. Sorry. I'm super excited that I'm off this ban because they're mad. Those purple lights that you see, super purple. It's like a black light. Like all the Spencer's gifts closed down, and then like the New World Order went there and collected up all the black lights and just threw them up in the streets. Like, nah. Obviously, there's something going on there. Looked it up. There's an actual patent for those actual lights. It's an internet device. The purple light indicates that it's the new internet device. They can see the inside of your body when it goes like an X-ray. When you go by, if you've taken a shot, they can. It's kind of like the little Tesla radar. You can see the person walking like a little ghost. That's what that is. So if you see those purple lights, eventually when there's no more rule. Yeah. So Diogenes, if you see like on streets, the street lights are on the highways here in Orlando, and like in a lot of cities that have them. It's like the backscatter. Yeah, it's like it's like a super purple as hell. It's like a black light, street lights, and I'm like, that is so horribly. It literally hurts your eyes to look at when it's on. Fucking bugs are on my face. When the light is on, you're driving past, you're like, that hurts my eyes. It's a literal, it's like an LDAR. It's like instead of radar, it's LDAR, like a laser, like a. From what the patent said is like, that when the sunlight is on your skin, like the actual radiation and the UV light, that's what it is. The UV light from the sun actually is good for your skin. It can do things. Going into cities is your first mistake. Yeah. Going into cities is his first mistake, but now they're having them in random places all over the place. So I'm like, they're trying to like reach out and find, because like I said, it's like an anti-fog of war device. You can literally see where people are at in real time type of deal. If they have butt naked, they have nothing on them, you can see them just walking through the forest. Like it's like infrared, but like you can't really tell because it's like a lot harder to see. Which I have an idea. I'm gonna have to check out to bring my my psionics and see what type of light that thing puts off. But yeah, so if you check the patent for this thing, I'll have to see if I can find this on my phone somewhere. It's like a patent for literally like a scanning device. It's like purple lights, street lights, random roads, country roads, city, college, towns, whatever. They're putting up these lights, super purple, and it's like the UV light from the sun. It can turn on and off like evolutionary genes, like when you're going by, like when you can through evolution, the sun, plants, they go over and evolve and stuff, like right. LiDAR tech, bikers and bullets, LiDAR tech, exactly. So what these purple lights are is they're trying to research how when you go by and it shines on your skin, they can turn off traits like aggressiveness and like learning how to like figure out you're being lied to and all that type of stuff. Like that's literally what they're trying to do. These purple lights. The people in the UK have been like shooting or not shooting. They don't have guns. They're like ripping them down, chainsawing them down, pulling with their cars. So that's the type of stuff they got going on. They'd only need some type of super grid like this if they're really going for like for the whole entire like type of takedown. And I've been watching Israeli News Live. Stephen Benoon's guy over there. I met him. He's a fantastic YouTuber. He like you look at his channel. I'm not like a religious person, but he does a religious breakdown of events and how they correlate. It's very fantastic because he's doing it in like a literal way. He's not doing it like an interpretation of text. He's doing the text interpretation of real life because they're trying to make the real life events mirror the Bible, so or the Torah or the Quran or whatever, so that people believe that the events are going to lead to what they think instead of, hey, these people are engineering these events to get you to go along with it, and then when you get here, it's going to bop you in the head like a little mouse. Very simple. He puts it down. Fantastic. But one of the videos that he did, remember I met this guy, he was in 2017, 2018, he was literally talking about this stuff, like even stuff that like a lot of people you would think, like the Noahide laws and like how in Israel they're talking about the twin Messiah theory. It's fantastic. Hey, High Desert Pioneer, what's going on, brother? We're just talking about some stuff. So one of the videos that he did, like that I met him, and this is how I know that this guy's legit. He was saying, when I met him, he's like, hey, Donald Trump's going to do the Noahide laws. He has no idea if they're just going to convince him. These bugs are pissing me off. Wait a minute. So, Noahide laws, Donald Trump is like, oh, sure, this is cool. And there's a bunch of, Jewish guys like, hey, sign this. They signed it. He didn't really know. And the Jewish people are like, I don't really know. Because some in the government said, hey, do this. All types of stuff like that. So one of the things that he found out was that the Biden administration had just had the CIA, some operatives, some field gentlemen, went up to him like, hey, look, I think like more than a half dozen of our projects got out of control. We need extra money to go shut them down because they're kind of running rampant. I'm like, wait, what? How does a project get out of control and it's running rampant? Like, what does this mean? And what he said was that from like the mid to late 80s to the early 90s, the CIA, again, this is what he said. I've seen this, I've read this. I had a friend of mine who was actually in the military. He told me a story about this, and it didn't click until just recently of what he was saying, because even he might not have known, but what he told me, I was like, okay, human beings don't do this, right? It was like, he was saying that the CIA was like, hey, we did some experiments. Like you heard about the MIT and all these Stanford universities doing human-animal hybrids. He's like, well, we had some of them that were actually pretty, workable. We got them to be able to run around and to do stuff. And some of them got away, and they're actually doing a lot better than we thought they were. And we have to go kill them because they're scary. And I'm like, what the fuck? So what it was is that one of the human-animal hybrids is a wolf or a dog and a person, like dog person. That's what they're literally saying. Hey, we need like $80 million extra to go shut this down. What they would do is they'll release them in national parks or in like super third world countries like in South America. Let them run, do all kinds of crazy stuff, and then they'll go and they'll capture the thing or the creature and be like, wow, that took down 9 farmers. Wow, that was cool, or whatever the case may be. A bunch of people in Louisiana and a guy in Michigan actually got visited from the FBI for shooting one of them because he was driving his semi-truck up by there's a national park up in Michigan somewhere. It's like a road. It's like a super steep hairpin. His semi-truck was doing a turn. He's seen it running. He's like, what the hell? This is only like 2 years ago. He's seen it running. He's like, what the hell? And as his semi-truck, he floors it and it hits the current turn and starts going up. It's only going like 20, 25 miles an hour up the hill. And he says that it was running next to him and like the face was next to his car, like the window. Here's the window of the car, and the face was like so big, and the eye was right there. He was like, what the hell? And what he said, it was like a flash in the moment. He was like, oh man, it looked at me, and it was so evil. I felt like it thought I couldn't do nothing. He's like, well, actually, there's something I can do, and hit a 1911. He was like, right in the eye, and it fell down and went into some reeds and started flopping around. So he stops the truck and he goes over there and he looks and sees it kicking like in a bush. He's like, what the hell? And he looks up. There's two dudes, two white Mormon looking gentlemen in 5'11 tactical pants, short sleeve collared shirts with sunglasses in the middle of the night saying, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, this was Michigan? Yes, it was Michigan. I have to find the video. It's from a guy called What Lurks Beneath. That's the name of his YouTube channel. He did a video about this a couple months ago, and he interviewed the guy actually on his channel, speaking to him about what happened. And the feds came to his house like, hey, you shot one of our assets, and they tried to take his bank account. They tried to threaten him to do all this stuff, and he's like, y'all already attacked me with a werewolf. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill me? Like, bro, y'all tried to have my head ripped off and sucked like a fucking Capri Sun, bro. Like, no way. So obviously he didn't care, and they stopped messing with him. I guess they just assumed, oh well, he'll tell it and nobody will believe him. Motherfucker, I believe him. Yeah. So that's the type of stuff that's going on right now. And then, like I said, my friend, I was in Okinawa. We're a football team. We're in Camp Hansen, and he's an Army guy. He had a really nice helmet. I'm like, man, you got this super nice helmet, bro. He was an Army Ranger. He's like, oh man, blah blah. We're on break for football. We're taking a break. We're talking about stuff. He's like, yeah, I went to Germany and we were partying this crazy stuff. And I was like, yeah, I went to the Philippines. We were crazy. So he's like, hey man, you want to hear something crazy? And he kind of like went into this mode. He's like, man, we went to South America, and he was in Colombia, like out way in the middle of the jungle. They were looking for some FARC dudes. They were like, hey, look, the Colombian dude's like, we don't want to go out here. We need some Army guys to go with us, whatever. And just like that story was telling me, like, they released the stuff in these places, and South America was one of them, where he was like, hey man, like, you remember that movie Predator? He's like, bro, we went to this one area. I could see his face. He was like real, like he was like looking like, he was like, we went in there and we were looking. He's like, just like the movie, you looked up, the dude hanging upside down, completely skinned, no skin, head to toe. Like, they sat there with a potato peeler and were doing it, but it was like, it was all fresh, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like they sat there and it was rotten. It looked like they just like ripped it off and then just hung them there and ran away. Like, one of those things where you're like, how would a person or a group of people do this? Like, Anna had the Colombian necktie, crazy stuff, and he was like, I don't know. But then after a while, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, people down there be doing that stuff. Like, they got all that time for that. And then I thought about it. Man, the movie Predator, that'd be scary. Come to find out, when they did the movie Predator, I think in southern Mexico, like around Central America, that happens every once in a while, whether it's people that are doing it or like some other type of deal. That's where they got the idea from, like down in South America and Central America, like, hey, this happens to people, and here you go. And so when they were, telling the story of, another story I heard, like some guy it was on, again, What Lurks Beneath, and on, what was it? A lot of these X slash is like the slash, like, the / X / it's like a type of forum on 4chan where, 4chan's got a lot of goofy stuff, like stupid, whatever. But some of the stuff here is like, hey, if you've ever had a really horrific story of, being out in the woods or out in the middle of nowhere, Iraq, Afghanistan, you see some spooky stuff. Like, I know a lot of people in Iraq and Afghanistan talking about seeing ghosts, or, some like the Haditha Dam, crazy stuff like that. So one of the things was a guy in Mississippi is on his boat. He's just, going along at night. He's got a pit bull. The pit bull's going crazy. He's like, what the hell? He flashes it over there. He sees like a dog, like a wolf, or like a, large dog in the reeds and the little cattails. He's like, what the hell? Keeps on going. His pit bull's going crazy. And he's like, oh, snap. Takes out his like revolver. He's got like a 357. He's like, oh, what the hell is that? So he said the dog came through the reeds. And as it came through, it was like, that dog's head looks a little high. You know what I mean? It came off the thing. It was like this. And it came through the reeds. The dog was standing up, walking, like wading through the water like this towards his boat. And he's like, man, I ain't even, what I'm saying? Shoots him twice in the chest. He's probably like 50 feet away from his boat. And he says he heard a lunk, like a metal clunk, clunk, like twice in the chest, and one in the neck, and it screams. And he's like, what the hell? Like, damn, a dog got on like a body armor or like a metal vest. And it sounds really ridiculous. And I was like, that's kind of ridiculous. But then you're like, hey, look, if these people would go all the way with making a human-animal hybrid, doing all this other stuff, you wouldn't think they would be like, damn, these Americans are probably going to shoot the hell out of this motherfucker. Give them a vest so we can't have our program mess up after 20 seconds of being out here. And that's not the first time I've heard that. I've actually heard that multiple stories from in Afghanistan and in World War II in Vietnam of people seeing really crazy stuff, like super weird stuff. They didn't think anybody believed them. And the more I hear it and the more I'm looking for these stories, they pile them up here. You know what I mean? Like, why would you make up something so specifically, really weird? Then again, it's also been like reported multiple times and in government documents, by the way, them claiming that they've seen it, claiming that they've done this types of stuff on their own, like all this different type of stuff. Mix that in with all the collapse of America and all the crazy this and that and all these, all the selling out to China and all the, oh, we're going to ban TikTok. And then it's a bill to ban everything on the internet. And if anybody says anything, we'll send cops to your house and do da 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 and all this stuff, dude. They're getting ready for some crazy stuff now. Next election, I don't even, like I said, every election that we get through, I'm shocked that we even get through because I really don't think these people want any of this stuff. They want everyone to just lay down and die, but we won't do it because it's too much fun to mess with these people, right? So like I said, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on keeping on, learning, growing, doing new things, making new connections and friends, buying more guns and ammo, training, and never being out of shape and stuff. Well, I mean, whatever shape that you're in, as long as you're able to run a decent distance and fight off, werewolves, zombies, and other freaky deaky people trying to come at you, because that's the type of stuff we got going on, man. And that's why they're always trying to ban a man. The Taliban. So, everybody, hope you have a good night. Thank you for staying up late. I'm going to go get some food, get something to drink. High Desert Pioneer, Diogenes. We got Bikers and Bullets in here. Everybody else, have a great night. I will see you soon.